Welcome back to RodezTrip. Thank you for showing up. Today we're going to be talking about hackers in North Korea. They are now a major part of their economy, bringing in billions of dollars. And the way that they are doing this is they are stealing Bitcoin, which is a type of cryptocurrency that's not directly connected to any government, and it's very difficult to track. They're also ransoming people's data. Now, the way they do this is you click on a link from an email or a post somewhere, somehow, and it locks down your computer. You get a message saying, give us so much money or we'll delete your data. And they usually follow through on the deleting of the data. They don't always follow through on releasing it, but people do pay. They do this with hospitals, I believe, are a major target because patients' data is stored there, and other companies that rely on their files. Now, just to give you an idea of the scope of how serious this can be, the largest amount of cash recorded currently, and keep in mind, a bank probably isn't telling you how much there really was stolen. In Brazil, 2005, $70 million were stolen from a bank. Now, this took 3 months to dig a tunnel through reinforced concrete, and they got away with $70 million in hard cash. Now, an attack from North Korea on the Bangladeshi National Bank, like their Federal Reserve, netted them $81 million. And keep in mind that this was done without any risk to anyone, their personal safety. It's super hard to track back to them. There's no real recourse that you can have against a nation state like this. All right, so you want to know why they're doing this. North Korea has a lot of sanctions imposed on it by different governments, America, pretty much everywhere in the world. I say different governments, it's anybody who can impose a sanction pretty much is imposing them, and that just means it's harder for them to get goods shipped to them because they're blockaded. It's harder for them to get access to money because that's usually locked down. Banks are not supposed to do business with them. So they're basically robbing from other countries to give to themselves, and it's used for personal enrichment, I'm assuming, and also they very much believe that it's used for their infrastructure. An interesting fact I found was the estimated amount that is stolen or gotten through the hacking is in the billions of dollars, about in line with North Korea's nuclear program. So this alone could be funding their nuclear program. It would explain how they're getting so much money to buy specs and research and materials from rogue nations and just, nefarious individuals. Now, on top of that, this resource, of having really good hackers who are really good at getting into systems gives them a pretty good weapon against first world countries, because we are the countries that are the most reliant on computer infrastructure. Most of our electrical the entire electrical grid is run by computers. Our financial institutions, the banks, stock market, that's what it's called, stock market. Those are all run by computers, and just tons of information. It could cause a lot of, I don't want to say so much physical harm, but it could do a lot of damage to our infrastructure, and it would be a very annoying thing. It could cost the countries that they attacked, if they chose to attack, billions at least, and possibly trillions if they managed it right, timed it around maybe a natural disaster, for instance, and then they was followed up by a cyber attack. That could be really bad for us, for whoever they attack. Now, the reason they might want to pursue this is because we can't really retaliate directly with another cyber attack, because even though they have these hackers attacking us, our infrastructure is developed. Even though they're kind of a first world country, they don't have first world infrastructure. They pretty much use old school analog computers, buttons that you hit, and physical paper filing systems. It's just really old school because it's a dictatorship. So if we wanted to get back at them for, say, attacking us on the cyberscape, the matrix, whatever, we can't really do it. There's nothing that we could harm them with. The most we could do is attack the computers attacking us, and that's not really going to get the point across. If we wanted to make a point, have to escalate it on a military level, most likely, which would be undesirable. It could set off their allies, Russia, China. I don't know who else is friends with them. And that's not something that we want. So it's really troublesome. Now, solution for this, because North Korea is such a dictatorship, they don't like their citizens to have access to information. So they've outsourced a lot. Also, obviously, they don't have people with this kind of experience, and certainly not the amount of experience needed to do these attacks. They also don't have the advanced internet connections and like speed that would be necessary. So what they do is they outsource this, basically get cyber mercenaries from other countries to do their dirty work for them. Now, this is a good thing for us because the countries that these hackers live in, they do fall under regular law enforcement's jurisdiction. So they could just be arrested by regular police officers and there'd be no need for a military intervention. And basically we could gut their whole weapon system, and this aspect like that, it would be horrible for them. And the funny thing is, they would have had a really good advantage of us on us with cyber attack, but because they either were greedy, and I could also see them just needing money to keep their country afloat, they sort of showed their hand. They stole so much money that a bunch of governments were investigating them, and I believe we're on the cusp of a bunch of people being arrested, so it's already probably going to be, pulled out. But we need to keep in mind that this is a real threat. I think so, at least. I'm sure I missed a few points. Guys, please let me know what your thoughts are on this. If you think I should cover something else, get a little bit more in depth on something, or if I got something wrong, please let me know. Like, share, please share if you thought it was cool. Thanks.